Welcome back to Studio F, where on Fast Times with B, we'll step back to 1990 and review Edward Scissorhands. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Russell!
Welcome back to Fast Times with B. I'm Willie B. I've got Rosie back with me. Rosie, how are we doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. So now, back-to-back weekly poll winners for you, with the theme of Winona Ryder.
Love.
So obviously last week we did Heathers from 1989. Now we step back to 1990 and we do Edward Scissorhands, directed by Tim Burton, one of your favorites. So it's
My
only
favorites
right
for
we
sure.
get you on here for it. But Johnny Depp, also one of your favorites.
Also, and Winona Ryder.
Yeah. So,
and Anthony Michael Hall.
yeah, Anthony Michael Hall also in this movie, which it was funny because I remember when we went to meet Anthony Michael Hall, you didn't know he was in this movie.
I didn't,
And then
because
you were
it's
like,
so...
oh my gosh, he is.
Yeah.
He's Jim. Yeah.
It's such a, I don't know, different character than when
Brian.
he plays in the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
So
For sure. Diane Wiest, also another big name in this movie. As a Lost Boys fan, I have to give her a little plug.
yes.
But we'll start with the good, and I have a feeling we're going to stick here for most of it.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I'm going to say in the good is the score.
100%.
Danny Elfman has made a lot of scores, and specifically a lot of themes that I have loved in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
From Spider-Man to Batman to Edward Scissorhands. He's done most of Tim Burton's filmography. And I think, I'm not going to say overall score it's my favorite of his, but Edward Scissorhands' theme might be my favorite theme of Danny Elfman's.
Yeah.
It's just always been a theme ever since I was a little kid and watched this movie for the first time that I loved hearing. Which is crazy to say for a kid, but like it's just...
It's very iconic.
It's
like,
whimsical. It just feels like you forget about everything bad that's in life. Like, you hear it and it's just like, you want to shed a tear, but like it's a happy tune. I love it. And I do love the whole score. It's just Spider-Man, my favorite score of his. But like the scene, you get the main theme obviously when you get the snowfall and Edward's cutting the sculpture and Winona Ryder is, or Kim I should say, is dancing in the snow. But even like some of the score you get throughout the movie too, like when he is specifically the dog hair scene and he ends up cutting all the ladies' hairs, that is a really good score. And honestly, there really isn't a bad score. You also get some good fun commercialized music in this movie too that I don't know if I remember, but I caught it this time when we were watching, so I was here for it. But just overall, the music in general is really good in this movie. And, once again, Danny Elfman's just one of those guys that usually, when you see his name, you know you're getting something great. So.
Yeah. This is one of the few scores I would recognize. We play a lot of trivia, the two of us, and I feel like I always get this one just because it is so iconic and it has that nostalgic factor. This is one of the few movies I knew before we even met.
Yeah.
So this is this one really brings it home for me. So.
Yeah. No, music's great. And then just the movie in general is in the good. It's honestly a sad story. It really is.
Yes.
But it's this guy who just, obviously has scissor hands, doesn't know how to mesh in with society, and due to that, he kind of gets the short end of the stick. But like, I love how it starts with like old Winona Ryder's telling a story to her.
I was just about to mention that I like when movies do that.
Yeah, and so your ending is her saying, closing the book, and
it reminds me of the Titanic.
Yeah.
I like when movies start like that.
Well, this was before the Titanic.
I know.
So
well,
Titanic was copycat of it.
Yes, I guess so.
No, it's just it's a good way to open and end the movie, and yeah, you watch Edward get brought down to society, and at first he's a hit. He can trim all the hedges, he can cut all the hair, he can make your dogs look as abstract as a Picasso piece, and everybody's obsessed with him. He gets TV time. They're trying to buy a salon for him. And then he, out of love, does something for Kim. And Jim kind of screws him over, obviously. And from there, everybody's mindset on him changes. And he's now the bad guy. And when he really didn't, do anything that he knew he was doing wrong because he was never raised. And it becomes a sad movie because you're just watching everyone turn on Edward, and then obviously the lady the housewife that's always horny throughout the whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
She turns the tides on him because he didn't want to do anything.
I hate her.
Yeah, horrible person. And so you just watch everybody just defame this guy, and the only one that truly knows who he is Kim. Mm-hmm. And I, as much as I think it's a sad story, I love the ending. I love the goodbye, I love you. Mm-hmm. It's my favorite quote from the movie. I know, a little corny, the goodbye, but it's such a good movie. But it is a really sad story when you're like thinking about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Love the way it's shot. It's Tim Burton has his stamp on it.
Oh yeah.
Bo Welch did the set design, and he did the set design for Cat in the Hat and directed Cat in the Hat, which we kind of saw the correlation in the neighborhoods there. But he also did the set design for movies like Beetlejuice, and he did Batman Returns. He did The Lost Boys. So set design definitely in the good.
Yeah, I love that we just correlated that today, because I've always thought that it gives Cat in the Hat vibes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it would be the other way around, but nonetheless,
Cat in the Hat gives you Edward vibes. Yeah.
Just like all the colorful houses and the colorful cars.
Yeah.
And when he starts doing hair, like all their crazy hairdos, like it's giving like Dr. Seuss kind of, which I think is kind of
Tim Burton. Tim Burton's just
quirky.
It's a gothic Dr. Seuss feel to most of his
100%
movies.
100% agree.
And so you definitely get Tim Burton's stamp on it. You get his direction. You get his cinematography. And it's just all stuff I love because I love Tim Burton. I love the way he makes movies, and I don't really have a movie of his that I hold in low regard. So, at least off the top of my head, from what I've seen. And here's no different. Edward Scissorhands might be my favorite Tim Burton movie. I know it's not yours because I know how much you love Beetlejuice, but Edward Scissorhands...
It definitely would be a close second. I think just because, for me, it is one of those movies that I grew up watching, along with Beetlejuice, of course.
Yeah.
So I think Beetlejuice would definitely be first for me, but this one is a very, very close second, and it's one of my faves. So
yeah. Another thing, the good, obviously the cast. I love Johnny Depp. I love Winona Ryder. I love Diane Wiest. Everybody else, it
is a great cast.
Anthony Michael Hall as the douche boyfriend. Yeah. I thought was great. I
love Johnny Depp in all of his different eras for sure. I know you haven't seen any of the Pirates of the Caribbean.
I've seen the first one.
Okay.
I haven't seen the sequels. Okay.
I just love, like, all of them. I think he does well with, like, the creepy, like, Tim Burton-esque vibe.
Oh, for sure.
Just him, for sure. But he can really, maybe not now, but he can mesh into just about anything, which I think is kind of cool. And yeah. He is one of the greats in my eyes, at least.
I thought about another Tim Burton movie that might be my favorite. It's probably Sleepy Hollow, but also Johnny Depp. But this is really close. No, Tim Burton, yeah, you know what you're going to get. But Johnny Depp, I think 90s Johnny Depp was like...
peak.
I agree. I like all of his eras. I love him in Nightmare on Elm Street to him in the first Pirates to even some of his movies that I think are a little underrated in the 2000s. But... 90s Johnny Depp was a force to be reckoned with.
For sure.
Because it started with Edward Scissorhands and it ended with Sleepy Hollow, and everything in between was fantastic. From What's Eating Gilbert Grape to Ed Wood to... You had Blow. You had... I'm drawing a blank, but many, many more. 90s Johnny Depp was fantastic. And he had a couple rides with Tim Burton, and I think those were some of my favorite performances of his. As I just named two of them. Basically the bookends of the 90s for him.
Yeah.
Because one was 90 and one was 99.
And I think him and Winona Ryder do so well together.
Yes, Winona Ryder is another one. I love seeing her in Stranger Things now, growing up. But like, she was an actress that I loved watching as a kid too. I mean, I once again I grew up on Edward Scissorhands. That was our first time watch for Heathers last week, and I thought she was great in Heathers too. Winona Ryder usually is. I mean, Alien Resurrection, not the greatest movie. I love her in it. So, we got a couple of people that are fun to watch on the screen. And again, Diane Wiest, I love her as the mom in The Lost Boys. I love her again here as the mother figure. And Edward Scissorhands, she's just an icon when it comes to moms. So, yeah, we're rocking and rolling when it comes to the cast. The performances were great. Even like the neighbors, all of them had their quirks and were kind of, you saw them go up and then down on Edward. But I thought they all did good. I love Kevin too. I love the whole family, the whole Boggs family.
I like that they they're just like the good old all-American family. Yeah. Because like they all live in those copy and paste houses in this neighborhood, and all the neighbors like have their own quirks, but they are so nosy and they're outside doing everything. And I like when they call and they're like, "Oh, I'll meet you at the corner," and they go and talk. They're just like very like suburban housewives, and I love that you can see
pre-cell phone.
Yeah, I love that you can see when the husbands come home because they all like scurry home.
Yeah,
and then you can see all the husbands leave in the morning for work. So it's like very suburban vibe. I love it.
No, it's a great movie. Once again, shot very well. I think my favorite scene is the ice sculpture scene.
Yeah.
Just because it's just so beautiful. You get that epic score behind it, and you just have Winona Ryder dancing in the snow that Edward is creating through his piece of ice sculpture, and it's a great scene.
My favorite scene, now that we're talking about favorite scenes, mine is anytime that she's trying to figure out some sort of cosmetic cover-up for all of his scars. And I don't know if it's just because like the Avon has, again, another nostalgia for me. But I just love when she's trying to like make up all these concoctions to try to cover his scar. So anytime that she's sitting with Edward and trying to cover up his scars, I just think they're funny. So that's one of there's a few of them in there.
I mean, there's a lot of great scenes.
Of course,
most of the movie is
true.
The great scenes.
Those are
category.
my favorite.
Yeah. Continuing with the good. I mean, I don't really have anything to complain about. It's one of those movies where. From start to finish, I'm locked in.
100%.
It's just Tim Burton at his finest, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I even have anything
in the bad?
In other directions. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we can hop over to our final thoughts if you want to.
You don't have anything either?
No, I mean...
Yeah.
I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I don't really have any notes on it.
And I think what makes it not, like, quote-unquote a perfect movie is it has, like, those 90s quirks that like are like, oh, that's a little cringy, but that's just like how it would.
I
can't think of like anything specific.
If I were to knock on anything, it would be I wish Edward got a better ending.
Yeah.
But it also, I mean, that goodbye, love you is like, it's a bittersweet ending. It is
for sure.
But my boy Edward did get done dirty, so
he did. That's unfortunate.
And that always hits me a little hard because. If you watch, as somebody that's watching the movie, you see Edward's just a good guy. And so, but what do you want to leave off with it, and what do you give it out of 10?
Well, if any of you know me, I'm going to give most things I watch with Winona Ryder and Johnny Depp and directed by Tim Burton, a 10 out of 10, of course.
Yeah.
Mainly nostalgia, mainly the actors, but I don't think everybody would give it a 10 out of 10 because it's just not everyone's cup of tea when it comes to movies. It just is a good one to me, so that's why it's getting a 10 for me.
For me, I'm going to go 9 out of 10. It's one of the icons of Johnny Depp's catalog. It's one of the icons of Tim Burton's catalog. It is probably my favorite Winona Ryder movie. Obviously... Lost Boys is my favorite Diane Weiss movie. But, it's one of those movies that stands the test of time. I think now that it's, 35 years old this year. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it gets a theater release for 35th anniversary.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be awesome. Is that math correct? Yeah, it's 35 this year. Yeah. Okay. I was second guessing myself, but it's one of those movies that I watched as a kid, and as I grow up, it still doesn't get old. Mm-hmm. It's a great movie. I'm glad it won. It's actually been a while since I watched it, so
yeah, me too.
It was kind of nice to rewatch it. 1990 had some heavy hitters. I thought Goodfellas was a heavy contender. Obviously, this one was in the mix. I can't remember the other two I had, but I was kind of thinking Goodfellas would win. Scorsese.
Yeah.
And so when Edward was not only winning but kind of commanding, I was like.
Last time I looked, when I voted, Beetlejuice and Goodfellas had a 50-50.
Well, Beetlejuice was 89, so Beetlejuice wasn't on this.
Oh, not Beetlejuice. Edward Scissorhands. I apologize.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Edward Scissorhands and Goodfellas. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, my apologies.
No,
yes.
Yeah.
They had a 50-50 run.
They were early on, but Edward pulled away at the end, and I was like, hell yeah, love you guys. Not that good. Like I love Goodfellas too. Edward Scissorhands deserves a little love, man.
Of course,
it's a great movie from the 1990 year. So glad it won, because it deserved a rewatch from me. So, but that'll do it for Edward Scissorhands. Rosie, thank you for coming on. Thank you all for watching. If you like what you're watching, check out some other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. Keep voting on the polls every week if you like them. And let us know. 1991 will be posted this Wednesday, so let us know which movie to review from then. But we'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Peace and love.